to them. We ask that you not only vote yes to this policy for the Beltline, but also reflect these principles in all future redevelopment, including Fort McPherson and the 4 commercial revitalization TADs. So thank you for your support in advance.
Thank you.
Matthew Cardinale.
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is still Matthew Cardinale, news editor of Atlanta Progressive News. I am in support of the community benefits principles, and so I do urge you all to support that and pass that today. But I do question how is it going to be enforced, what is going to be the oversight, and I think that that does tie in with the general question of oversight before this committee. Now, just about 10 minutes ago, I stood here and reminded you that Beltline had promised to make certain presentations at their next quarterly report, that they did not do so. After I stated that, it would have been a good time, I believe, for someone on this committee, such as the chair, to inquire as to what is the status of that information. But that's just one example. The Atlanta Housing Authority is another thing. As you know, about early 2008, Felicia Moore introduced a resolution and an ordinance. What ended up passing was 2 resolutions. The second resolution, which replaced the ordinance, included a requirement for the AHA to come before this committee and provide quarterly presentations. So I haven't seen the law that Mr. Howard was referring to, but I can tell you that the resolution that was signed by everybody here except for Mr. Wan, who wasn't here on the council at the time, promised quarterly reports before this committee. Now, Chairwoman Sheperd, last Monday at the Committee on Council, you said, well, AHA has been here once, and if they want to or tell me that they need to come back, then they can come back. That's not what's required. And it saddens me that we as citizens can advocate and push for a resolution. You know, most members of the public probably think that, you know, there's the process by which a bill becomes a law, and once the bill becomes a law, everybody can celebrate because it's now a law. But, you know, what I found out is that you can, you know, put the blood and the sweat and the tears into pushing for something, and then you have a mayoral veto, and then it gets overridden, and you all still don't do what is in the legislation that we've been fighting about. So, I mean, I'm just wondering, this community benefits principle sounds great. Where's the oversight? And if, you know, one developer complies, are you going to say, well, if the other developers want to comply, that's up to them? You know, where is the oversight? Where's the accountability? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cardinale. As a matter of fact, when Mr. Howard was speaking in reference to AHA, I have a note here right in front of me that says, is AHA required to have quarterly meetings? And so as opposed to me sitting here and going back and forth bickering about it, I write notes and I check on it. So what I will be doing is actually getting with Mr. Tam after the meeting to determine that. So I do listen in reference to what you're saying in terms of the quarterly. I will have to go back and look at that because, to be honest with you, I don't remember that conversation at all. And so I would have to actually go back, pull records, or look at the specifics of what you're talking about with Mr. Leary, because, again, I don't have that. We actually are going through a process with internally with ourselves that we're looking at how we can actually document everything that's discussed at these meetings. And I would tell you that there's major flaws in terms of us documenting everything that's committed to, what we do in terms of our process. And that's one thing that we're looking at electronically, how we can actually change that and actually making some recommendations now in terms of that. So I hear what you're saying. Point well taken. I heard you clearly. And we are looking at a process to correct that. And so to that point, until then, sometime y'all may have to come up here and remind us of things that we commit to. All right.